22 days ago, we started with 4 demands. And I won't go through them again. You guys know them right now. And through thick and thin, this camp was going to crash and burn several times. And collectively, as a group, we came and decided we will work together to make sure this camp remains the camp that it is, so that we can honor the Palestinians, we can honor the Gazans. And on our banners here, we have in Arabic, Ya Ghazati, Ya Gamarati, or Gaza, our moon, whose light illuminates our path. It is something that we are reminded of every day as we wake up and we look at our banners. We see the student intifada, the student revolution, the student uprising, paying homage and honor to the intifadas of Palestine, who fought against Zionist machines with rocks, with slingshots, with their bodies, who now fight in tunnels and fight in over and underground against machines that are paid by millions through our money and are supported by our money. And we sat in negotiation tables and in negotiations rooms, seeing the embodiment of bureaucratic machines who spout, who hide behind the curtain of bureaucracy to tell us what we can and cannot dream of, the limits of what we can work towards, saying this is what can and cannot be done. And yet, we went again and again and again, demanding that our Palestinian movement be recognized in the rooms, that the elephants in the rooms, the hidden elephants of the room, which are the strings of Zionism that control the parameters in which we are allowed to dream of our demands, is seen and no longer remain hidden. That Palestinians are no longer imagined to be the exception through these systems. Palestinians are the center and not the exception. That Palestine is the center and the compass and not the exception, and never was and never will be the exception. So please give it up to Khalili, one of our main negotiators, to give you an important update.
All right, everyone, before I give the update, can we get a free Palestine for all the amazing campers, the community, the movement, the alumni, the faculty, everyone that held this down?
Free Palestine! 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 Free Palestine!
Thank you. All right, everyone. I can't believe I'm standing in front of you today after 22 days of this encampment. 22 days of the student uprising, the student intifada on Berkeley campus. I believe we are the longest running encampment in the US. And what this moment means, when students, when community, when faculty, when alumni are willing to come out and put their bodies on the line with the constant threat of state violence, of police, of Zionist mobs attacking them like we saw with our comrades in UCLA. Yay! What this moment means is that something has fundamentally broken in this heart of empire. Palestine is no longer the exception. Palestine can no longer be the exception. Palestine has become the tip of the spear of the anti-imperial movement. update I have for you today is not perfect. Because this moment is not perfect. Because even if we win, everything to be won in this entire UC system, until we see sanctions, until we see an end to the flow of arms, there is no complete victory. There is no victory until every Palestinian is free. Until every last person is free. All right, so today we did make, I'm pleased to announce that we have made progress on every one of our demands. And I will temper it by saying that this is only the start of our fight. We have fought for every inch to be won at this table and on this campus, and it has not been easy. We have run in to an entire bureaucratic system built after South Africa and the inspirational, historic divestment they won. An institution built to shield everyone from accountability. There are no longer decision makers. Everything is a process that is slow. But we have fought tooth and nail in this institution. And we have won things. But to win, but to truly win, to truly achieve victory, we must continue to organize, because our victory here is in the movement. All right, everyone. This thing is long. I'm not going to read everything, but we have a signed statement from Carol Christ. In fact, 2 signed statements. The entirety will be available soon. But I will just give you some highlights. Dear Free Palestine encampment. I'm going to say this is a highlight because they said Palestine. They said the word Palestine. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me and members of campus leadership to discuss the blah, 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 blah. Okay. I found many of the conversations quite valuable, and I want to recognize your productive approach during a very difficult time. I want to acknowledge your efforts to protest the extraordinary death and destruction in Gaza. Carol Christ has acknowledged the death and destruction in Gaza. I, too, am concerned about the horrific killing of tens of thousands of Palestinians, as well as the destruction of Palestinian educational infrastructure. I plan to make public statements by the end of the month, sharing my personal support for government officials' efforts to secure an immediate and permanent ceasefire. Carol Christ calls for a ceasefire. Such support for the plight of Palestinians, including protests, should not be conflated with hatred or anti-Semitism. Supporting Palestinians doesn't mean anti-Semitism. It's not hateful. Hey y'all, I'm Palestinian, I exist. And the fact that some people had to cheer for that sentence tells you how broken the starting point was. Carol Christ also says, I strongly support, as I have always supported, investigating the alignment of UC Berkeley's investments with our institution's core values. These values include a respect for equality, human rights, a commitment to fostering the conditions for human growth and development, and abhorrence of war. The University of California has decided in the past to divest from businesses that were determined to not be aligned with our values. We should examine whether UC Berkeley's investments continue to align with our values or should be modified in order to do so. Now I'm going to tell you, I have two pieces of paper in front of me that used to be one piece of paper. And the Regents and Office of the President of the University of California decided that they didn't want the next section to be next to what I just said. Because after this, Carol Christ has committed to starting or asking the ESG committee of the Berkeley Foundation to start the process of investigating divestment. And it's a partial divestment, focusing on industries, on weapons, on surveillance, and on mass incarceration. So we have a statement of support that says, in response to the Free Palestine encampment, we can no longer keep taking for granted our investments. We can no longer accept that the university can just make money off of the death and destruction and murder of people in the global south, in Gaza right now. And when I say we ran into the labyrinth of bureaucracy, we found out that the only way to actually win divestment now is through a sequence of votes. There's no other way to create a binding policy. But we have won that, and we are starting that. We are starting to walk down that road, and we have to acknowledge it.
We see regions you can't hide! We charge you with genocide! We charge you with genocide! We see regions you can't hide! You see regions you can't hide! We charge you with genocide! We charge you with genocide!
And what this moment revealed to us is the ways that these institutions construct these labyrinths where no one can make a decision, where no one accountable to students or even to taxpayers is in the room when the decision is made. When political appointees, the UC Regents, who serve for 12-year terms, renewable, are the only ones that can make the decision themselves to fully divest, we know something is broken. But we have also created a new battlefield for the next stage of this fight. We will be back, and we will fight for this divestment. And then on academic boycott. We got I also understand that UCB Divest Coalition's demands include academic boycott. They acknowledge that we can demand academic boycott. I, Carol Christ, do not support academic boycotts. She personally does not support them.
Shame!
However, as we are unified in our desire to ensure that our academic partnerships remain in alignment with UC anti-discrimination policy, including anti-Palestinian discrimination, in her words, the university will review all complaints about existing global exchange and internship programs and review a new and future programs to ensure they're in compliance with the anti-discrimination policy. So, as discussed, the UCB Divest Coalition will formally report any anti-Palestinian discrimination in institutions which we have existing global exchange and internship programs. UC Berkeley will address, including termination if remedies are unavailable, its programs that violate this policy, and will cease its student participation in programs administered by the University of California or other institutions that violate this policy. So it's a roundabout path, but it is a path to shut down these partnerships. It's a path that acknowledges that you cannot discriminate against Palestinians. It acknowledges that no country, no program is exceptional in their ability to discriminate. And when I tell you that these partial victories reveal how long we have to go and where we stood, that's what I mean. Getting the statement that we cannot partner with institutions that repeatedly discriminate against Palestinians was a fight. What the fuck? Excuse me. So in this moment, we have won things here at UC Berkeley. We have revealed the contradictions of what it means to exist in the belly of this beast. And honestly, a few months ago, it would have been surprising to get this document. The fact that I get to say, there's more to win, there is still another fight, there is still another campaign that's within reach, is amazing. And so I'm going to say here, we are not declaring victory. We are saying that it is time to move on to the next step, to take this campaign, to take this movement to the UC regions, to take it to the office of the president, to fight until we win complete divestment. So this movement, this student movement, has already pulled the masks off of these institutions and showed us their vile, imperialist, racist core. And it shows us where we have to take our fight next. And it shows us that the world has changed, that now we are able to mobilize, we are able to stand together, and we are able to say, Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Thanks, everyone.